time you're ready.
It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at wcbe.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I'm Wayne Miller.
This is It's Movie Time.
I know, and we've got our beauty we both have had a crush on for some time, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my. You know, as a side note to what we're going to discuss, which is Black Widow,
Yes,
it's a shame that both she and Florence Pugh
yes.
are stars, when in fact I would much rather see either one of them in a much smaller independent film where their acting really could come forward. But
Yeah.
who's going to turn down millions
Oh,
to be known planet-wide?
oh, planet-wide. I would say even it expands through the universe. And they're both very good in this. And you could see, in a way, Scarlett Johansson kind of pulling back a little
She
bit.
did, you're right.
And the real breakout here was Florence Pugh.
Yes.
And of course, and then some of the other people, including David Harbour, that plays their, quote, adopted dad, Alexei.
Yeah.
It was also added a lot there.
Well, Pugh, some people remember, was in Little Women, right? Yeah.
And she's been in other things too.
Yeah.
And I think this is somebody who's going to really kind of break out even more so, like a Scarlett Johansson, but also like a Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
As they, or the young lady in the movie Room, who also played
yes.
And here, though, John, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are getting ahead of it. Look at this. This is Black Widow.
Yeah.
This is filling in between when Black Widow is gone from Captain America, right?
Well, yeah, and I had to go back and read because, and this is one of the one things. There, so many people are huge fans of the Marvel cinematic universe, and we're fans. We like the movies, but we don't like our such devoted fans that we've seen all of them. And I think, and I'm going to go back and binge watch, basically from maybe all the Avengers films, particularly starting with Avengers Civil War, when the Avengers, because of some governmental decree, trying to shut them down, some agree with it, some don't.
Yeah, they're broken up.
And this is where the movie starts afterwards. And the one thing I didn't know that after reading it, it made sense, is that, and this won't come as a surprise to any of our fans, I'm not giving anything away, but she sacrifices herself in that last Avengers movie, Endgame. And that's, and there was like a bit of like they always tried to make it seem like, could she be like a love romantic interest for like Captain America, or even the Banner character that would turn into the Big Hawk.
Yes, right.
Particularly Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye character. But anyhow, so putting that together, and so I think this is a great movie for particularly the fans of the Marvel.
Sure, you're going to get some of the origins for her and
Yes.
her family and her sister, and they're going to appreciate that.
Yes.
Others will be working on the Freudian interpretations of her and her father.
Yes.
And particularly her affection for that Hulk character that you remember that she is, and so they're already working on it. Dr. Freud, hello.
Well, and of course they're not related by blood, because it's all a family put together. Two of the scenes in the movie, and of course this is, it kind of takes place in, she hears from her long estranged sister.
Right.
And that sends her a thing, and that's what sends them off to destroy this guy who brainwashes, trains all these.
Isn't that early scene about 1995?
Oh, the family scene.
Family scene, which it starts with.
Yeah, they which really starts the movie quite well.
First 40 minutes or so, you can't get a better introduction. And Chasing, if you like all of that, Chasing plus family.
And what I enjoyed about it, because I was a big fan of the TV series that was on one of the cable networks, The Americans, and implanted a Russian spy family. Now, in the case of the Americans, the parents were Russian spies in plans
Yes, right.
in the 80s, but the two kids, their son and daughter, were their own kids. Here, the two girls, Elena and of course Natasha. I love the name Natasha.
Yes, right.
How more Russian can you get with a name like Natasha Romanoff?
Anyway, the two sisters get back together again.
Yeah.
We find out about the parents who have been gone,
Yeah.
and we find them slipping into Bondian territory
Yes,
with the megalomaniac played by Ray Winstone.
Yes. Yeah.
Dreykov.
Yeah, Dreykov.
Right.
That as touches, and I, of course, reading some reviews about it, and they said kind of very reminiscent in some ways of a lot of the James Bond.
Of course,
movies,
of course,
you know,
of course.
Blofeld.
Yeah,
and
oh,
with,
yeah.
training all these
Only this time. Yeah.
assassins.
This time he's got a serious problem because he's able to control minds. and
Yes.
Take away free will.
Yes.
So,
But also, we get a hint of this, and what was kind of a humorous scene, but it was Elena, the Florence Pugh character, saying, telling her dad and her foster dad and mom, whatever, when they meet up later
Yeah.
on, about that being part of the widows. And the original Black Widow is their mother played very good, very icy, Rachel Weisz.
yes.
And but she's talking about how they not only brainwashed him, they forced them all to have hysterectomies. And
Yeah, oh yeah,
she's talking about,
they just ripped the insides out, didn't she?
and she but you couldn't help it. Such a horrific thing.
I know.
But how? And this was what I love so much about Pugh in this role is her humor. But she's still kind of a sweetheart.
She
of a
plays it
girl.
low. She is
Oh,
really
and
good.
just a kick butt little action.
And what I like about it too is that it is a commentary on the whole feminist movement. When you
Yes.
have widows all around the world who are controlled by this
Yeah.
male,
Yes.
and you get these two young ladies who
Yeah.
are going to liberate them all. That's pretty
Yeah.
neat stuff.
Yeah,
It's
it is. That was good.
there are for me way too many explosions. And
Oh.
I don't know why this time I'm bothered by them. I thought I was getting used to it, and now the kick fighting and the explosions, which I know are part and parcel of this kind of movie, boy does that bother me.
Well, the cinematography and the editing sometimes kind of lend itself for confusion.
Oh,
in some of the
really?
scenes. Oh, especially when the thing's blowing up and they're kind of like skydiving down, chasing each other and things
Listen,
like that.
yeah, I'll tell you that the cutting on that was way too quick for me.
Wow,
I mean, you can't keep
yeah.
track. And I will always contend it's a cheap way for a director and editor to get away with murder, so to speak.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, just by quick cutting, so you
Yeah.
don't have to tell whether they've been
Yeah.
accurate or not.
The one place that I thought it did work pretty well, because I always like to see how when the two sisters, Elena and Natasha, finally meet and then face off, and just knocking each other around.
I know. In fact, and there are, as you said, there are some very light, funny
Yes.
parts. Everybody seems to be fixed on this one where Elena comes down and gets into the Iron Man kind of pose, making fun.
Yes.
Natasha, the
yes.
ballet.
Well, when she was kind of like whipping her
Whipping her
what's
hair,
that,
right.
all that, whipping, and then and she does it herself at one time. And whatever. Jumping down and landing in a crouch, with her head down and then flipping the head up. But I tell you, John, that very first opening scene when the family, and of course they kept saying how that it was almost like they were sent, so we're in the boondocks in Ohio.
Right, in
Where
Ohio.
they complain, especially the dad complaining about Ohio. The family's about to be discovered, and so they take off. Great scene.
Well, they're all over the world.
Now, and then I compare it, what I thought, and I almost kind of started nodding off, about halfway through it, the extended reunion scene. And they're around the table
Yes.
eating whatever. And that really kind of dragged, even though I like
Yes.
it, and I like the dynamics of this
And
put together
I'll tell you,
family.
it's a good point. Those are moments that I look forward to, even though they do drag, because there's been so much action. I like it settling down and revealing more about the family.
Exactly. Like I always said,
Yeah.
the main thing, no matter the type of movie, to me, the main thing, the relationships between the characters.
All right, Wayne Miller,
Yep.
this is Black Widow.
Yep.
What advice would you give our audience?
I'd say see it, even if you're not and haven't seen all of the Marvel movies.
No, right, you don't need to.
I think, but it just don't try to figure out some of the hints they drop about other events
Yes.
of the Avengers and all this other stuff. But as with usual with a Marvel movie,
You better.
stay for the
You
credits.
better stay.
Yes,
And
and then you have a kind of a bit of a surprise of a character that I'm thinking, is that who I think it is?
All right, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
All right, and if you're afraid to go to the theaters, do go. It's all COVID-free, and it's
Yeah.
also participants-free.
Yes.
Just bring your
You're
friends
right.
and yourself, and you'll have the theater to yourself.
Exactly.